understand them, and like and basically making fun of people to their face, right? To me, that's really what's fucked up, and it's more it's actually more, to me, that's the crime here. The crime isn't that they're Nazis and they're racist, which they might be, and I'm sure they are accelerationists who are people who are just basically nihilists who don't give a fuck and want to see the world burn. And like, to me, that's probably a worse thing than being anything, because you really are anti-human and you're selfish.
What if I told you that one of the most successful NFT collections in the world was pulling off the biggest troll in internet history? No, not convincing people that this ugly shit is art or that it has any value. What if I told you that hidden within Bored Ape Yacht Club was a series of 4chan trolling, racist imagery, and white supremacy dog whistles? And with a deep understanding of cipher and cryptography, the founders of Bored Ape Yacht Club are making a mockery of the entire world, pulling the strings of the global elite, including celebrities, athletes, actors, and influencers. This story is extremely complicated for many reasons. The problem with accepting the truth I'm about to tell you is that you have to have extensive knowledge of 4chan, internet culture, and symbolism to even wrap your head around this and understand the motive. The most important fact I'm about to tell you that you must remind yourself as we go along is that the entirety of Bored Ape Yacht Club is esoteric. By design, it is only meant to be understood by a select number of people with specialized knowledge. And as you can see here, it is considered based when others with that knowledge connect the dots. Almost all of the absurdist references present in Bored Ape Yacht Club are glaringly obvious to the in-crowd and are invisible to anyone who isn't terminally online. I might as well be speaking a different language if I don't prime you on every aspect of this elaborate cipher. Combine this with Bored Ape Yacht Club being valued at over $1 billion, and you have yourself the gold medalists of the Troll Olympics. I had my doubts about all of this. That was until I spoke with one of the top creative directors and internet artists in the world, who is an expert of internet culture, 4chan, and trolling. An artist who has worked with Kanye West, Grimes, and Tame Impala, among other creative projects that you've definitely seen. January 2022, a website goes live called GordonGoner.com. Signed at the very bottom was the signature of Ryder Rips. Ryder Rips is eccentric and is a trendsetter in every regard. He created the Deal With It meme, Dump FM, Internet Archaeology, and V-Files. When it comes to the
Friend of the show? Wait, is this a friend of the show? Oh, Grimes is a friend of the show. I was like, what the fuck? I don't know Ryder Rips.
internet, Ryder Rips is one of the most innovative artists of our generation. It's no secret that he uses internet culture and the nature of trolling to amplify his artistic messages. If there's anyone to educate others on iconography and the meaning behind art, it's Ryder Rips. And if I happen to be the founders of an NFT project manipulating the masses into asserting value on racist imagery, I would not fuck with him. For the past 6 months, Ryder Rips and other researchers have collected all of the data and sources that highlight Bored Ape Yacht Club's successful but depraved continued stunt. And I say continued because they still operate unchecked. 4chan is the gutter of the internet. Founded in 2003 by 15-year-old Christopher Moot Poole, this message board serves as a place where internet culture is born, discussed, and destroyed. Users on 4chan typically post as anonymous or anon, as they argue the identity of
most of the stuff you obviously already know because you're brain broken and you probably have lived in those spaces for some time now. But also keep in mind that this video itself is actually for the Norman, the average regular person with a non-broken brain. You know what I mean? With no underlying severe mental illness or anything like that. Mental illness induced by being on the internet for too long. Okay? That's why he's describing 4chan.
To conversations at hand. But the collective anonymous culture of the message board has devolved into a degenerate pit of despair. Along with anonymous identities, there is virtually no moderation. As a result of this, threads on 4chan spiral into some of the weirdest and most disturbing rabbit holes on the internet. So why even post? Well, as Ryder Rips described to me, trolling is a sport on 4chan. This point alone is necessary in understanding the motive behind Bored Ape Yacht Club. Throughout the internet's history, 4chan has been responsible for trolling mainstream media endlessly. One classic example of this was when 4chan tricked mainstream media into thinking the OK hand symbol signified white power. The media ran with it, and as a result, actual white supremacists adopted it as their
I was just about to say, like, they literally did the white power as a meme, and then actual white supremacists started using it. Like, they turned it into, like, an actual thing, and they do this all the fucking time.
own. An internet joke that illuminated a problem with mainstream media, their willingness.
I mean, also, who can forget, I don't know, QAnon, which quite literally was created in 4chan in a message board where people would act like they had, security clearances and talk about conspiracies and shit. QAnon is another, like, lol, white power moment. You know what I mean? It straight up is just fucking 4chan roleplay that boomers unfortunately got access to, and it broke their fucking brains even further.
To post anything was taken literally, and the meaning of the joke.
No, Q wasn't 8chan first. Q started off in 4chan and then quickly moved on to 8chan. No, QAnon originally started at 4chan and then went over to 8chan.
Changed forever. Another example of this is comedian Sam Hyde being the ghost of Kiev. Lastly, let's talk about the benefit of the doubt. Imagine all of what I'm about to tell you is one giant coincidence. Somewhere along the grocery list of examples of Bored Ape Yacht Club being one massive alt-right
Bro, Tucker Carlson's a bigger comedian than that motherfucker, bro.
Joke is a point at which these similarities are no longer coincidences. Let's call this the tipping point. If I bring up one instance that highlights deliberate Nazi, fascist, or alt-right messaging, you may think to yourself, I see it, but that's a reach. So I ask you, what is your number? At what point do all of these examples become crystal clear in front of your eyes? For me, it was just one. First, let's talk about the apes as a whole. You don't have to look far on social media to see that many people believe the apes in Bored Ape Yacht Club are inherently racist looking. Remember, they could have picked any animal, object, or thing to make an NFT project. Monkeys? Really? It seems a bit random, but we're dealing with deliberate messaging. This is not a mistake. This is Damon Dash, the founder of Rockefeller Records with Jay-Z.
And then I don't know if that monkey thing is like, because what's the biggest NFT? The ape. Don't you think that's a little condescending to our culture in a little bit?
We was just talking about that.
I feel like, is that a way a nerd is trying to get cute and laugh at us?
We was just talking about that.
Because either way, you should tread lightly with monkey as it relates to our culture, because it's a trigger for us. And they keep doing it. So first I wasn't like, and then I was like, why is everything a gorilla or an ape or a monkey? Why ain't it a penguin or like a panda bear or something? Why is it something that's been used to, disrespect us for years? So I don't know, Yeah. And when language is difficult for a creative, that leaves a lot of room for exploitation. So that means a lot of people that can understand may take advantage of those creators that don't want to understand.
Do you guys realize for the last 2 years, they got black people to invest in monkeys and dogs while making fun of us and taking our money from us? But Doge was going to the moon. When y'all get done, go look at Bored Ape Yacht Club and go see the imagery of how it's connected to Nazism. It's damn near the same imagery, but they know we won't study long enough to say, and now look how many billions of dollars they made off of us and our culture, and then the music industry gonna come in with more NFTs and continue to rob us. All we need is us.
The reason people have made this conclusion is because of something called simianization. This refers to comparing ethnic groups to an ape or monkey. Simianization has been used throughout history to put others down in order to dehumanize them. You will see exactly how Bored Ape Yacht Club uses simianization to convey racist themes and undertones. But first, we must understand the culture in which these apes were born. In 2021, Bored Ape Yacht Club was launched on April 30th. which is the exact day that Hitler died. The launch of Bored Ape Yacht Club was actually on the 23rd with a week-long pre-sale, and they sold out before the 30th. However, they made it a point to tell the New Yorker that it was the 30th. I have shown this picture to various artists. This is Bored Ape Yacht Club's main logo that they use across all of their branding and social media accounts. Not too bad, right? How about now? Most of them laugh uncomfortably in sheer disbelief. The audacity to do this is mind-blowing. It does not take a genius to see that this Bored Ape Yacht Club logo is a direct copy of the Totenkopf. The skull and bones represents death and was used by both Prussia and Nazi Germany as a military emblem representing death heads. I only mention Prussia because that will play out later when we examine some of the Bored Apes. Both logos also have 18 teeth. If you're unfamiliar, the alt-right white supremacists and neo-Nazis love alphanumeric code. The number 18 is a symbol of hate.
Yeah.
More specifically,
Adolf
it's
Hitler.
alphanumeric code for the initials of Adolf Hitler. 1 being A, 8 being H. One thing to note is that both logos also have a rough edge, which is uncommon in circular emblems. It's just another characteristic that demonstrates they knew what they were copying. Bored Ape Yacht Club was created by a company called Yuga Labs. Like everything in this project, the name has meaning. A little bit about us to start off the new year and what's coming. What's the inspiration behind the name Yuga Labs? We're nerds, and Yuga is the name of a villain in Zelda whose ability is that he can turn himself and others into 2D art. It made sense for an NFT company. When I heard this, I was confused. I've played just about every Legend of Zelda game, and I could not remember for the life of me who Yuga was. You see, Yuga is a boss in The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds, the 17th installment of the Zelda franchise available only on the Nintendo 3DS. If you're a self-proclaimed nerd or gamer, you wouldn't source your name from the most obscure Zelda game ever, let alone a game for the 3DS. Everyone knows that Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, and even Breath of the Wild are the greatest games in the franchise. I could believe Ganon Labs, after the main antagonist throughout the entire series, Ganondorf, but Yuga? I'm not buying it. There is a specific reason they picked the name Yuga.
I mean,
On Yuga Labs' website,
fucking-
they pay homage to another project called the Hash Masks. This project was made by a Swiss company known as Suumkuik Labs. This phrase, meaning to each their own, was on the gate of the Buchenwald concentration camp. This phrase was also used on the face of Prussian helmets, and Yuga Labs loved Suumkuik so much that they even took their exact terms of service. Yuga has an entirely different meaning. The phrase Kali Yuga
Yuga
stems from Hinduism, and it refers to an age of
It's the classic. It's the Joe Rogan meme, chat. Like, that's what this is. The Kali Yuga is like what fucking. This is so. He's right. This is incredibly esoteric shit. Like. It's so fucking incredibly like deep cut memes that when you actually are like trying to craft an argument around like the symbolism, you come across like you're fucking crazy. You know what I mean? But it's also basic 4chan. That's why he started off by showcasing the OK sign, and it's like, and how it was originally a 4chan meme as like a white power meme, but then that was like adopted by like actual white supremacists. But that's just how fucking Nazis are. They love esoteric shit. Like they straight up love it. Like this is, you know, this kind of like symbolism. And the more like normal conservative you are, and the more you move away from fascism, the more you get to like, let's go Brandon. You know what I mean? The average conservative says, let's go Brandon, is like, instead of fuck Joe Biden, they say, let's go Brandon, right? Nazis are like 7 layers deep. They're like, oh yeah, I'm going to do a Kali Yuga meme and shit like that.
If not, hope it gets better.
That's why you have like, it's made you so, it made so you sound paranoid. Yes, exactly. But also it's like a very good, like, you know, notice what I'm saying. It's just a way to signal to It's a very good way to signal to other fucking deep cut racism nerds exactly what you're trying to say. Like 18 is a good example of this, or using something that is like a version of the totem pole is a good example of this. Those are a little bit easier to understand. But to the average, to the Norman, you're like, what the fuck is that? 18? It's just probably a random coincidence. The fuck. But to the more even a little bit more interested parties, 14 and 88 are recognizable. 14 and 88 are recognizable numbers for Nazis. If you see a 14 or an 88 or a 1488, you know the person that you're talking to is a Nazi.